Affairs and Trade in Canberra to present the Meet the African Heads of Mission segment of Africa Down Under. In this third session, I have with me the High Commissioner for Zambia, His Excellency Mr. Francis Bwalya, the Acting High Commissioner for Ghana, Ms. Vivian Asempapa, and the Acting High Commissioner of Nigeria, Mrs. Bola Asaju. And I would ask after I complete what I'm going to say for the High Commissioner to speak. We following these brief speeches, as I said, we will have some discussion about a couple of issues of interest to the Australian mining community. So, High Commissioner, if I could ask you to start your presentation.
Thank you very much, and I must say that we are very grateful for this opportunity that you are giving us to share something about mining in our respective countries. As you know, Zambia, the name Zambia is synonymous with copper. We've been a copper producing country for many, many years. So Zambia is copper. The football team that won the Africa team in 2012 is called Chipolo Polo Boys. And Chipolo Polo is a local word to mean bullet, because the casings of a bullet are made out of copper. So Zambia is synonymous with the term copper. But going forward, we can say that the name Zambia will also be synonymous with gold. And this is because of the potential for huge gold deposits in Zambia. Last year, around August, the world will remember that there was a gold rush in northwestern province of our country in a town called Mwinilunga. This town borders the DRC Congo on the northern eastern side and to the western side with Angola. And what happened there was very, very interesting. In a small river, children picked nuggets of gold, and there was a kind of gold rush. So Zambia now, the latest story that we are here to share about is the story of gold. And we are looking forward to more and more companies coming in. The local people are going to participate, of course, because our government has a policy to ensure that the local investors, our own people, participate. But that policy is not to the exclusion of other investors, specifically from Australia. So we're looking forward to more investors coming into Zambia from Australia to invest in this particular field, in this particular sector of gold. Already a few companies have been set up, including the Kansanshi gold mine that is owned by ZCCM, Zambia Consolidated Copper Mines IH, and there's a lot of exploration that is going on at the moment. Now, when we say going forward, Zambia is going to be synonymous with gold, this is not to mean that Zambia is abandoning copper, cobalt, and so on. Of course, cobalt is a byproduct of copper mining. That continues. So this, in our view, as Zambia, is the latest story. I know that some people who are watching this may want me to talk about the government's commitment to ensure that we create an environment where investors can come and so on. I'll not talk about that because we have already done that. I'm going to talk about the policies government is putting in place and so on, including the commitment of the Zambian government, because no one doubts that. And this is the reason why we are not getting mining companies, including Australian mining companies, leaving Zambia but staying in Zambia. But we want to have as many as possible, more companies coming, especially now with the gold that has been found in our country. So I would say that this is our story. If I'm going to continue talking, then I'll not be talking about our story. That is our story. Australia, hear it. That is the story. Come, there's gold in Zambia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, High Commissioner. So I'll ask Ms. Asempapa to speak on the situation in Ghana.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Hart, for having us. As the High Commissioner for Zambia said, he says that the name Zambia stands for gold, but I'll challenge him to that. Ghana is the original Gold Coast. As you may all be aware, Ghana has a very long history of gold mining. We've been mining gold for over 100 years. And in the mineral sector, gold constitutes our major mineral exports. In Africa, we are the 10th largest exporter of gold in Africa. But over the last few years, there have been efforts at diversifying the economy so that we don't have to totally depend on gold. My presentation is very brief. I'll talk about some of the challenges that we have faced, some key policies that have been enacted recently to improve on the mining sector, and then some new attractions in the solid minerals industry. As I just said, we are trying to diversify to move, not to move entirely from gold, but to discover some other minerals that we have in Ghana, which hitherto have not been discovered. And then I also talk about the performance of the mining industry recently, and then some more investment opportunities. And like my senior colleague here, I will invite our colleagues from Australia once again to come. There are many mining companies, Australian mining companies in Ghana, but I do think that there is still more impetus for more of these countries to come to Ghana. So I'm sure you are all aware that mining is very important for Ghana, and within the framework of Ghana's coordinated program of economic and social development, mining has contributed largely to the development of the economy. This has been done through the implementation of key policy initiatives, including the diversification of the sector and the strengthening of linkages, improving productivity through the training and appropriate technology transfer. And that's one of the areas where Australia comes in. Australia has been very instrumental in the transfer of technology in the mining sector to Ghana. I did mention earlier that we've had some challenges in the mining sector. And some of these challenges, of course, have prevented the industry from realizing its full potential. And so I also talk about some of the things that the government is doing to ensure that going forward, these challenges are addressed and the sector is able to perform better. We are trying to ensure that there is sustainability in the mining sector, because it's one thing mining and it's another thing engaging in sustainable mining. And so we have what we call the Ghana Landscape Restoration and Small-Scale Mining Project. I am sure you've all heard about the challenge of illegal mining in Ghana, which we call Galamsey. And in 2017, our current president instituted a joint task force of the military and police to address this canker of illegal mining. Of course, a lot has been achieved, but a lot more is yet to be achieved. And so just recently, an interministerial task force headed by the Minister for Environment was inaugurated. And this task force has been kind of labeled Galam Stop. This task force is to complement all the efforts that the earlier task force, military stroke, police task force, all the work that they did, because you all agree with me that this issue of illegal mining, apart from depriving the country of the much needed foreign exchange, it also affects the environment very negatively. And so a lot of attention is being paid to it. So to achieve sustainability, we are working to address these challenges. We are also ensuring the use of appropriate, safe, and affordable technology in small-scale mining. And then we're also developing alternative livelihood projects in mining communities, because that has been one of the challenges it has been realized that many of these mining communities have been very impoverished, even though those are the communities in which the minerals are found. So a lot is being done now to ensure that these communities are able to have a livelihood. Recently, 14 mining schemes were introduced in these communities. And just 2 days ago, our Minister for Mines and Natural Resources met the press to brief the press on what has been achieved so far. And he did mention that these 14 schemes have contributed to the creation of over 2,000 jobs for people in that mining community. We also, as I mentioned earlier, we are trying to diversify. So apart from the traditional minerals, which we have gold, bauxite, diamond, and all that, we are inviting investors to come and invest in our development minerals sector. Some of these minerals include solar salt, granite, lithium, clay minerals, and base metals. I am aware that Australia is also very rich in natural resources. I think just about 2 days ago, the Minister for Trade for Australia made a statement on the role of the mineral sector in revamping the Australian economy after COVID. I did with something like that. So I think there's opportunity for Ghana and Australia to really collaborate. We have the natural resource. Australia has the technical know-how, and so we can collaborate, and then we can have a win-win relationship. Why should Australia come to Ghana? Of course, there are other African countries with similar potential. We keep boasting about our politically stable environment. We have a dynamic economy. Ghana is one of the biggest economies in the West Africa sub-region now. We have institutions, well-structured institutions that we keep strengthening, and we are trying to deepen transparency in the management of the mining sector. And why should Australia come to Ghana? We have trained manpower, and we have the availability of geoscientific information for successful mining. And as you are aware, under the President's Ghana Beyond Aid agenda, no stone is being left unturned to ensure that the economy is receptive, to prospective investors. Ghana, in order to attract international investors, we make sure that we practice good governance initiatives in the mining sector. And we have subscribed to some of these international initiatives, such as the Kimberley process, such as the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, such as the Voluntary Principles on Security and Human Rights, and such as the African Mining Vision process. So these are some of the things that Ghana is doing, and we believe that there is good reason for Australian companies to continue to come to Ghana. Of course, there's quite a number of Australian mining companies. We have over 12 or 15 Australian mining companies, but I do think that there is still room for expansion, especially in the non-traditional minerals area, which is a new area we are still discovering, and we will need a partnership from countries such as Australia to be able to develop these emerging areas in our mining sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now, if I can ask Mrs. Asaju to speak on the situation in Nigeria.
Thank you, moderator, and thank you, my colleagues that have spoken earlier. Just like my other colleagues have spoken, that gold, they are known for gold in Zambia and in Ghana. Not only is Nigeria known for gold, we are known for other mineral resources too that are of high value commodities. But over the years, Nigeria has been known, to have oil and gas, to be in oil and gas, for over the years. But recently the Nigerian government decided to diversify its economy away from oil and gas into mining, and that has been on the front burner, in the past in a decade. So Nigeria government decided to diversify its economy away from oil and gas into mining, not only mining, agriculture, tourism, and other sectors. And as you may be aware, Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa and is endowed, with about 44 different types of mineral resources, and it occurs in all components of Nigerian geology. The country is richly endowed with different types of mineral resources, such as coal, bitumen, limestone, iron ore, barytes, bentolite, barytes, just to mention a few, and they are of high quality. And recently, the Nigerian government decided to, through the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, just to concentrate on 7 strategic minerals. That is coal, bitumen, limestone, iron ore, barytes, gold, lead, zinc for priority development, because they feel that we should just take it one after the other. So that is why the Nigerian government is concentrating on that. And Nigeria expects its mining sector to account for 3% of its GDP over the next 5 years, from 0.3% that is currently at, and so that it will be about 3%, in the next few years. Nigeria has already attracted about $600 million to develop an iron ore project from African natural resources and mines, the largest single mining investment in years. So, and there are so many opportunities and incentive that is put in place just to achieve this in Nigeria. So the Nigerian government, has made the attractive and lucrative for offshore and offshore investors to bring their capital, skills, and businesses into the country. This can be testified by some even Australia mining companies that are already in the country, because they enjoy the incentives. I know all these incentives are very, very negotiable. They have some packages for them, and when you come, they can negotiate with the government to achieve this. And there's a favorable climate too for business and industrial ventures, that has been created by the Nigerian government. The administrative and the bureaucratic procedures have been greatly streamlined. You don't need to, the bureaucratic bottleneck that is always scaring off investors has been streamlined. So there is a one-stop investment center that you can just go through when you come into the country to register and to come and invest in the country. Then the mining cadastral office, that is in charge of the mining title administration, is currently embarking on the computerization and establishment of a web-based administration and management of mineral title system, so that there won't be any difficulty or any bureaucratic bottleneck for any investor that is coming into the country to come and invest. That being said, there are also favorable investment opportunities in form of corporate tax holidays, and custom duties, even for investors that are coming into the country, to come and invest. And Nigeria also has availability of labor force that is skilled, trainable, adaptable, and competitive. Then there is intellectual property rights, excellent telecommunication facilities, wide market access. As we know, Nigeria is the market into even the African market, through Nigeria. So there is a domestic labor market of about 200 million people in Nigeria, with relatively young, energetic Nigerians. So, and as we know, there are some mining companies from other countries that are already operating in Nigeria, even from Australia, that have been operating. And from their testimony, in the past ADU that we have had, they've testified, of all these incentives. So I'm also imploring more companies to come into Nigeria to come and invest in the mining sector, because we have a lot of opportunities in the Nigerian mining sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I then just go back to the two questions that I suggested? It might well be that people have some other thoughts that they wish to contribute. The question about the relationship and how it's changed with Australia, and the question of foreign investment and the attitude of foreign investment. High Commissioner, do you have any other thoughts from your presentation, which was very focused, of course, I understand. Have you any other thoughts?
Yes, one thing that is clear is that we have not made a lot of progress in terms of attracting more Australian companies, apart from those who are already operating there, about 4 and so on, and other Australian companies with interest in some of the huge mining companies that we have, such as Kansenshi and so on. And one of the reasons could be that generally many Australian companies are not coming to Africa as much. And we think that there is need for us to continue engaging Australian companies to know more, not just about Zambia, but about Africa. I wouldn't say the reason is because of the negative perception that we had in the past. We are in the global village now, and people know exactly what obtains in Africa. They know that Africa is not one country. They know that there are a lot of good things that are happening in Africa. However, there is still what I would say some kind of inertia on the part of Australian companies to come to Africa, to come to Zambia. However, we are very hopeful that with those that are already there who are staying, then those who are exploring and those who are considering coming at least can see that there are these companies which are working there, and they can also make it there. The opportunities are vast. But I must also say that AGU has been very, very, very good over the years, and it has generated a lot of interest, and we do believe that even this particular one is going to continue to add value and inspires many more companies as possible to come to Africa, to come to Zambia, to Ghana, to Nigeria.
Thank you very much, High Commissioner. Ma'am, do you have anything sort of additional you'd like to add from a Nigerian perspective on investment or the Australian mining sort of scene as you see it?
Thank you so much, moderator. As we all know, just like the ambassador of Zambia just said, the awareness, we are still creating out the awareness, and I believe even through this forum, more Australian mining companies, they will be, they will know what we have in Africa. You know, in Nigeria, just like I said before, there are so many opportunities, especially in the mining company. So the Australian companies should not consider, number one, the distance, because no matter the distance, you know, you can do business anywhere in the world, you know, especially now that there's a global village. You know, I know in the mining sector, you have to be there, you know, physically to see, but let them come, you know, they say the taste of the pudding, I mean, the pudding is in the test. So let them come, you know, to come and see what we have to offer, you know, in Nigeria, because there are so many incentives, there are so many opportunities. And from the testimony of all the companies that have been there before, I mean, few of Australian company, they can testify, you know, like Simbo Mining, that is the AG Vision Mining, and Comet Minerals Limited, and Stegilola Gold, and we are partnering with Tor. You know, they have seen all these incentives and the opportunities that we have in the country, and we still implore more to come and invest in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any final word from the Ghanaian perspective you'd like to offer for us?
Yeah, I'll say that the relationship between Ghana and Australia over the last few years has been strengthened. I remember that in 2006, when Ghana reopened its mission in Australia, because the missions were closed some time back. Yes. So with the reopening of the mission in Australia, Australia also came back to Ghana, and that was when Austrade opened an office in Accra. And from that time onwards, our trade relationship has been on the increase. But I must say that there's still a lot more to be done. When you look at the trade balance between Australia and Ghana, it's so much skewed in favor of Australia. In fact, the trade deficit is a lot. And to think that we have such a number of Australian mining companies in Ghana, and yet there is such a huge trade deficit between Ghana and Australia, I think that there is still a lot more to do. As I said earlier, we do have the resources. Australia also does have, so many natural resources. We need the expertise, the technical know-how, from the Australian business community. The Ghanaian business climate is favorable, and like my colleague said, incentives abound. I did not mention them because I know they are already aware of the incentives we have. The Ghana Investment Promotion Council, GIPC, has been doing a good job, trying to offer a one-stop shop for the registration of businesses. And for the mining companies, just recently, we have tried to digitize the licensing process, acquisition and then renewal of licenses, just to cut out all the paperwork and reduce all these bureaucratic processes. So I would say that yes, Ghana, Australia, economic relations have not done badly, but there's a lot of room for improvement. And I think that improvement is going to come from strengthened collaboration in the mining sector.
Thank you very much. So thank you very much to all of you for participating today. On behalf of Paydirt, I'd like to thank you for the time. And